It's time for us to talk parenting, and doing justice to that today is Sandra Oluwadari. Now, the focus is teaching your children how to regulate their emotions. Just so you know, Sandra Oluwadari is a parenting coach, a child behavior consultant, as well as the founder, Winning in Parenting. It's such a pleasure to have you in the studio with us today.
Same here. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, our pleasure as well. So, you know, parenting is something that is multifaceted, so many angles to it.
Yeah.
And so today we are focusing on regulating your children's emotions, which, frankly, is something many parents ignore.
Yeah.
First off, let's establish, when you talk about emotions in children, what do you mean?
Okay, so everybody has emotions, and our emotions are valid. It is how we express these emotions that become something we need to look into. So children have emotions. There are some pre-wired emotions in the brains of children, like they come into this world, they just find themselves crying. Nobody teaches them to cry. You know, when they're frustrated, they find a way to express it. When they're hungry, they cry out and all of that. So these are some emotions that have been pre-wired into their brain. And then as they begin to mature, other emotions begin to evolve. Yeah. You know, so emotions in themselves are not bad things, you know, but we need to get to the point where we are able to teach our children how to express these emotions. It is when they don't know how to do it properly that it becomes a problem.
Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to talk about how to teach them to express, and then we'll talk about what happens when you don't teach them. So first, let's talk about the teaching, okay? So what are those things that parents need to know so they can impact it on their children?
Okay, so first off, let me establish this truth. When parents always jump into problem solve for their children, you know, they always want to try to help the children get out of tough situations. What they are doing is they are teaching their children to outsource their self-regulation. Like I said earlier, everyone has emotions and they are not bad in themselves, you know, but how we let out these emotions, you know, becomes very important. So children need to learn this skill. I don't want parents to see self-regulation as just a behavior. It's a set of skills that every child should acquire. Every child should learn it and practice it, you know, because no matter how intelligent you are, no matter how wealthy you are, once you're not able to regulate your emotions, it's going to affect your height in life, you know. So parents should stop jumping into help their children get out of tough situations. That's the first part. And then you want to first help your children identify their emotions. I mean, if they don't understand what's going on, there's little they can do. So we want to establish the fact that, okay, when this child is feeling this way, he knows that, oh, I'm feeling sad, I'm feeling angry, I'm feeling tired. We need to help them learn to name their emotions. That's where it begins. And then after they are able to identify and name these emotions, we now begin to teach them how to let out these emotions. And, you know, one of the ways you can do that is to validate their emotions. Now, a child comes to you, her pencil is broken, and then she's crying. And because you have a pack of pencils in your drawer, you're like, is it not pencil? I'll give you another one. You know, you are not validating that child's emotion. And emotional invalidation really does a lot of harm to the child. So you want to pull the child closer and say, oh, darling, I'm so sorry. You broke your pencil. Sorry about that. You know what? I'm going to get you another one. You know, even if you're not going to speak for too long, but just let the child understand that you can relate
to cry,
to,
not rubbishing it like, why are you crying? Is it not pencil? I'll give you another one.
Exactly. When we do that, we're making our children feel that feelings are wrong. And once they begin to feel that feelings are wrong, you are already closing the communication lines in your home. The next time they feel scared, they're not going to express it how they should, because they were embarrassed the last time they expressed themselves. You know, so we want to first validate their emotions after teaching them how to identify it. And after that, you want to walk them through the process of coming out of it. And how do we do that? First, you want to teach them how to self-regulate by you know, simple tricks that look funny but very effective.
Please tell
counting
us.
backwards or counting forward. So you teach your child, you know, modeling is very important. You have to role play a lot if you really want your children to catch the drift. So you have to come up with different situations that they might likely find themselves in. So you say, for instance, when your friend does this to you, somebody grabs your toy or something, and you feel angry, what will you do? Okay, let's do something. I'm your friend. I'm going to grab your toy now. So let's see how you're going to respond.
Just imagine the child slaps you.
Just imagine. You know, so it also gives you an opportunity to know the child's perspective. So if the child is not responding properly, you know that this is an area where I need to work on. And then the child says, no, I'm going to do this. And you're like, no, let me show you how we're going to solve this. Okay, so I'm going to look at the ceilings and I'm going to try counting. What I'm doing is I'm trying to bring myself, I'm trying to contain my emotions, I'm trying to calm down. So when you find yourself in this situation, this is what you should do. You can count the tiles, you can count from 1 to 10, 1 to 100, you know, whatever it is, just do something that would bring you back to your true state. That is one thing you can teach your child. Another thing you can teach them is how to practice deep breathing. When they find themselves in these situations where their emotions are all over the place and they just want to, you know, spill and vent and all of that. Because when children are not taught how to express their emotions in socially acceptable ways, they become a nuisance, you know.
Yeah. And that's when it often gets out of hand.
Exactly.
Really. Thank you so much for your time. Like, we really appreciate
pleasure.
this. I've learned a lot. You wouldn't believe how much I've learned. But thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much for having me.
It's absolutely our pleasure.
Thank you.